But I want to talk about how to generate your next 200 plus leads in the next 30 days. I think oftentimes we overcomplicate a simplistic process when it comes to lead generation in this online space. And so I am going to be sharing with you over the next 20 minutes. I'm trying not to be too long. Over the next 20 minutes, like really how you can generate 200 plus leads in your business. I'm gonna say with little to no effort. And this is for those of you all that have a big message and a small list. So you can actually do this if you have a very small like email list, if you don't have a very large following as well. And so for those of you all, this is the first time that you are hearing the sound of my voice. My name is Dakisha Williams, your virtual COO. Just making sure my check. And so here's what I'd like to share with you. Okay. So one of the things that I know, a lot of you that are under the sound of my voice are probably authors, speakers, coaches. You are course creators. And so you are struggling to get people to enroll in your signature courses. You're struggling to get consistent cash flow and things like that in your business. And so I get it. And that's why I want to share with you some of the things that we've done in our business and kind of give you the backstory that will help you like take a quantum leap in the next, I'd say in the next three to 4 weeks. If you really set yourself to it in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you can kill it. Like you can kill your goals that you set for yourself. Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to understand. For my course creators, for my coaches, for my consultants, those of you all that are service-based and you are looking to enroll people into your signature programs, you are, you're getting ready to launch, right? And you're like, okay, I don't have an audience, so I don't really know what to do. Well, y'all know I'm the webinar queen. So the number one thing that I'm going to tell you to do is host more webinars in your business, period, point blank, right? Well, why? Well, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. When we are in the digital space or the online space, and honestly, it really doesn't matter what industry you're in. The example that I like to give is oftentimes the real estate industry, right? So let's just say that you're on the market and you're looking to buy a house. What's the first thing you're going to do? Most people go to like Zillow.com and start typing in like addresses and, or looking for properties for sale. And then as soon as you start going into those sites, what's going to happen? They're going to retarget you. They're going to start to try to pre-qualify you to see if you can actually afford to purchase a home. Am I lying? Right? Yes or yes. It's exactly what happens. And then the next thing you're going to do, if you are really serious about buying, you're going to put in your information. You're going to put in your first name, your last name, your income, and all of that. And then what's going to happen? Now your email and your phone is going to go off of the hook. I'm telling you. Now, granted, I've been in my house for 17 years, so it's been a long time since I've been in this cycle, okay? But the cycle doesn't change. Like the basics does not change. And so that's usually what happens. You'll start to see ads and like new homes and realtors and all the people that's running ads to like Zillow and first time home buyers. Like you'll start to see a lot of that. So you've already done like the awareness because you've already been out here on Zillow and you're already searching. Like some of you are already like Googling how to make more money in my business, how to generate more leads in my business. Like you're already doing the awareness things. And so what happens? It's kind of the same thing that happens to you. All right. So you see an ad or you come across somebody's website and what do? You key in your information. Oh, they got a freebie. Oh, they have a training. I've never heard of this person, but they say they can help me to generate 10K in the next 90 days. They say they can help me generate 1,000 leads in the next 30 days. So what you going to do? You're going to type your little information into my little nails. You're going to type your little information in there, right? And you're going to sit back and you're going to wait for the free offer to hit your inbox or on the next page. You have just gone into what we consider to be the consideration phase. So it's awareness, consideration, and then there is conversion, right? This is the educational process that a lot of times we as entrepreneurs, we miss. So me doing a Facebook Live, me doing an Instagram Live, that is all awareness strategies that I am using so people can know that I exist, so people can know that I'm out here. They'll know that the webinar queen is out here talking about lead generation and product launches. That is why I use social media. That is it. Period. Point blank. Now, when I know that I'm getting ready to do a launch, when I know that I want people to actually convert into a sale, or I want people to actually come into my program or enroll into my program, I am going to have a conversion mechanism. Well, what is a conversion mechanism, Dakisha? Well, I'm glad that you asked. A conversion mechanism is actually a webinar platform or a platform where you are actually asking for the sale. Jot this down in your notes. A conversion mechanism is actually where you are asking people for the sale. So you can actually do live events. You can do a live event and it's still considered as a conversion mechanism. You can do a 4-hour workshop online, like a virtual workshop, and it's considered as a conversion mechanism. Me in my house, because when I started in this space about 10 years ago, both of my kids were like 5 and 11. So at that point in time, I wasn't in a position where I could like get on airplanes and fly here and speak here and fly here and speak here. No, I needed to find a platform where I can make money from the comfort of my own home. I have literally been here watching my children get on and off the bus for 1,288 days out one of these windows. But who's counting, right? Well, now they're too big to be on the bus, okay? But I have mastered the digital platform, the online platform of closing more sales from the comfort of my home and being able to have more sales calls. How did I do that? By generating leads using the webinar platform. So again, I want you to write this down: awareness, consideration, and conversion. That's the actual buyer's journey. If you were running Facebook ads, if you're running social media ads, you would see that you can run an ad for awareness. You can run an ad for engagement. You can run a conversion ad. If you have dibble dabble in it at all at any point in time, then you know, okay, this is a like campaign. This is an awareness campaign. This is just to get to be in front of more people, right? And then it's the same thing. Oh, this is an engagement. I want people to like and comment. That's where you are getting people to opt into a free gift, or that's where you're getting people to give you their email address. Y'all know I ask for the phone number when we do our opt-ins. And then the conversion ad is where you're driving them to either fill out a form or buy a low ticket program. They're either filling out a form, buying a low ticket program. So you have to ask yourself, what type of buyer's journey do you currently have in your business? We call them funnels. And so the buyer's journey is a process of behaviors that you are taking your prospects to make a sale. So we call it a funnel. And literally, you create a funnel to take someone through the awareness, consideration, and then the conversion. If you don't have a funnel, baby, we have a problem, right? I use webinar funnels to take people through this process. So here's the first and foremost thing, that you can actually use the webinar as a sales funnel, but you can also use it or utilize it as a lead generation tactic. Because honestly speaking, lead generation is nothing more than it's the process of acquiring data or acquiring information from an audience that potentially has the problem that you solve. So you are putting out solutions out into the atmosphere, out into the universe, and then the people that potentially have their problem are being attracted to it. We call that pull marketing, right? So we are pulling people into our ecosystem that actually have the problem that we solve. And so when you pull them into your ecosystem, you have just taken them from phase 1 until phase 2. And remember, phase 1 is the awareness phase, and then you're taking them into the consideration phase. And here's why it's really important. There's so much noise that is online. And I always teach my students to make sure that they are educating their user. And so, well, what do you mean? So I like to teach from this like an education-based marketing triangle. I call it the profit pyramid. Right at the top of the profit pyramid, it says 3%. That 3% are the individuals that are ready, willing, and able to buy right now. So if you, again, going back to the analogy of the Facebook ads, you know that the click-through rate is about 1 to 3%. These numbers do not lie. Okay. And so if you have an ad running, you're thinking the click-through rate is about 1 to 3%. So if you're speaking to an audience of 500, if you're speaking to an audience of 1,000, 9 times out of 10, depending on if it's a cold market or warm market, 3% are ready, willing, and able to buy. So if I was to make an offer right now, 3% of you will pull out your credit card, go to the sales page, and boom, swipe, right? That's easy. That's easy money. So if I sold a webinar program right now, if you sold a course creation program right now, 3% of the people of the audience would actually buy right now. But no, we get so frustrated because we don't hit our financial goals. We don't hit our lead generation goals. We don't hit our sales goals, but you're not hitting them because you're not educating. If there was 100%, you're only, 3% are only ready. So what happens to the other 97%? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you. Let me educate you. So let's just say I was having a conversation about utilizing webinars in your business, right? Perfect. And I do a 45-minute presentation on the benefits to using webinars to generate leads, to have more sales conversations, and I open up the cart, right? And you can put your vehicle in this same scenario. So if your vehicle is Facebook ads, if your vehicle is a coaching program, if your vehicle is course creation, building funnels, switch out the word webinars that I'm using in this example for your vehicle, whatever that may be. We've already discovered that 3% of the audience is ready, willing, and able to buy right now. Well, there's 7% of you right now under the sound of my voice that if you continue to listen to some of the information that I'm teaching you, let's just say you go on my page and you go look at some of the additional trainings that I've taught in the past, you would actually be open to utilizing webinars in your business once I start to give you some data. For an example, are you familiar that 30 to 40% of the people that show up to your webinar will become potential clients? How many of you under the sound of my voice actually have a database of clients waiting to work with you? Waiting to work with you. Some of you are trying to generate leads, trying to build your list, and you're frustrated because no one's coming to your webinar. Well, what are you doing to create the excitement or create the momentum so people want to come into your circle, right? So yeah, you got 7% that are open to it. They're like, I heard about webinars. I used to do them, and it used to work for me so well. I need to get back to doing them. Well, baby, why you stop, right? Yeah. So then there's 30% of people that are not really thinking about using webinars. And those are the type of people that are like, well, I see a lot of people do them, and I heard about them, and I've seen some people have some success, and I'm not really sure that it'll work in my industry, right? I get it all of the time. Oh, I don't know if it'll work for me. And here's what I have to say to that. If you have a product and you're selling a product to a client, your responsibility is to educate that particular prospect on why they need to work with you, why you have the solutions to their problem, right? So if you are looking to generate leads, if you're looking to have more sales conversation, then I'm your girl. Like, let me show you how to get people on the phone. Let me show you how to enroll people in your courses without picking up the phone. Let me show you how you can generate 200 leads in the next 30 days without working really, really hard. Like, seriously, right? And so once I start giving out some statistics, they're like, oh, okay. I never really thought about that. Now, let me take into consideration. Then there's another 30% that are not really interested. Oh, well, I gotta get my hair done. I gotta put on makeup. I gotta get dressed. No, you don't. Turn the camera off, show your PowerPoint, and let's get busy. Like, let's go to work. Stop making excuses as to why you can't do something and tell me why you can, right? So those people that's not interested, they're gonna find all the reasons in the world. Well, I work during the day and I'm busy on the weekend, blah, 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 blah. But if I can educate them and show them how it doesn't matter your availability. It doesn't matter if you're still working a 9 to 5. It doesn't matter if you're in network market. It doesn't matter if you're Mary Kay. It doesn't matter if you're out there and you don't have a program. I can still show you how you can make money in this space and you don't have a program created. Yes, I can. Right? So it doesn't, all of those things are just excuses. So if you add up the 30%, the 30%, and the 7%, I just showed you 67% of people that are waiting to work with you. And I need you to write that down. There's 67% of potential clients that are out here waiting to work with you. It's up to you to actually educate them. It's up to you for you to continue showing up and educating them on why they need to write a book, why they need to host webinars, why they need to get ish done, right? That's why you consistently see me showing up online, because I'm going to always be talking about how you can generate leads in your business. I'm going to be always talking about how you can have more sales conversation, how you can enroll more people into your signature program, how you can have a 25K launch, how you can have a 10K launch. I literally tell people how I did $70,000 in 9 months or less. Because why? One program will change your life if you let it. One program will change your life if you let it. All right, so the manager question is, well, how can I generate more leads? How can I generate more leads? All right, so here's kind of the hack that I've created. So a lot of my students ask me, well, how often should I do a webinar? Well, if you've never done a webinar in this space, or you're a little bit rusty, so you haven't done them in a while, right? I highly recommend that you do 8 webinars in 30 days. Write that down. I highly recommend that you do 8 webinars in 30 days. Well, why 8? Well, back when I first started in this space, I was literally teaching people how to do 6 figures from a webinar. We were drawing out the registration page. We were drawing out the thank you page. We were drawing out the email sequences. And at that current time, I was not generating 6 figures in my business. And the way my level of integrity is set up, I am not going to teach anyone to do anything that I have yet not mastered for myself and or a client. So we were challenged to go out and do 8 webinars. We did 8 webinars in 21 days. I made $15,000, literally. Now, I did the exact same webinar 8 times. Now, here's the secret. You can change some of the content based on the reaction or the feedback from your audience. So if you wanted to change some of your, like the meat and the potatoes of your content, you could do that. If you wanted to change like the clothes, you can do that. But I challenge all of my students and all of my clients to do one webinar 8 times, 30 days. Let me show you this. Now, the average participation on a webinar is between 30 to 50 people. Write that down. The average participation on a given webinar is between 30 to 50 people. There's one top 1% of entrepreneurs that are making 7 figures, I believe. Somebody correct me if that number has changed. So that same top percent of entrepreneurs are the same entrepreneurs that are having the 1,000, 2,000 people on their webinar. That is not average, y'all. The average webinar does not have 2,000 people on it. I'm just telling you. And I'm starting to see that a lot of the webinars are being automated, and over a given time, a certain amount of people are on these webinars. So what do you mean by that? Like they might have like 10 on this one, but they're running the same webinar like all day long. So let's just say 20 times out of the day. So 10 people get on each one, you do the math. And if it's running every day times 7 days, you do the math. All my calculators are taken because I got all my phones up. Anyway, So that's how a lot of people are having like large numbers on webinars. But for my newbies, right, and my intermediate, let's just say that you did a webinar twice a week. Your goal, and I want you to commit to this, your goal is to get 30 people to show up. All right. So you should be able to get 50, 60 people to register. Now, I usually teach 12 ways to, to promote your free webinar. And this is organic and paid traffic. However, if you're just going to do organic, let's just say 50 people register. I got some techniques and some strategies that we use to get a 40% show rate every single time. Somebody say every single time. What? Every single time we get 40%. Whenever I do a webinar, I stop in the middle of the webinar and I count. I count registrations and and then I count how many people actually showed up. Boom. It's always a 40% minimum. The last time it was like 39.7. I was like, come on, we rounding up today. It's 40%. Boom. Right. So if you do the 8 webinars and you get 30 people to show up on every webinar, 1, so that's 30, 2, that's 30, that's 6. It's 4 weeks in the month. So 60 times 4, what is that? 240? That's 240 leads that have just come into your ecosystem, right? Are all of them going to stay to the end? Probably not. Here's where I'm going to help you, show you where you can meet your revenue goal. I just showed you how to make 200 plus leads in the next 30 days. 8 webinars, 30 people show up to the 8 webinars consistently. Now, if 30 people show up, let's just say, and I'm being real nice, real lenient, okay? Let's just say your closing ratio is 10%. So what does that mean? That means that when you get people on the phone, your closing rate is about 10%. Mine is more like 33%. Again, I've been doing this for a while. If I'm literally in the room, it's higher. It's like 40, sometimes 50%. Okay. So let's just be nice, be easy. 10%. So 30 people, 10%, that's 3 sales. You should close 3 people on every webinar, period. You have $1,000 product. That's $3,000 closed every webinar. That is $6,000 a week. 6 times 4, $24,000 every single month with $1,000 product. We're not even talking about a $4,000 or $5,000 product. I literally did the same exercise. We did a pop-up broadcast last week. I think we had about 30 something, 32 people show up. 2 people enrolled, $9,000. $9,000, period. Imagine you do that every single week. 9 times 4 is 32. It's $32,000. That's how people have a multiple 5-figure month every single month, right? So I challenge you to do the same thing. Number 1, I challenge you to host 8 webinars in the next 30 days. I challenge you to push yourself to get 60 people, 50 to 60 people to register. And then the goal is to get 30 of them to show up live over the next 30 days, right? So we've started to award our fast action takers in our webinar success tribe. What does that mean? So everyone that completes their first 8 webinars, they get rewarded, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of frustration and a lot of discipline and consistency in order to meet those 8 webinars. All right. So, and I'll give you another little cheat before I sign off. So I like to test the time of the day that I do my webinars. And a lot of people always ask, well, what's the best time for me to do my webinar? Well, it all depends on your ideal client. So is your ideal client an entrepreneur? If your ideal client is an entrepreneur, you can do a webinar in the middle of the day. You can do a webinar at 10 a.m. You do a webinar at 12 noon and you're good, right? If your ideal client still has a 9-to-5 job, then you need to be hosting your webinars in the afternoon, in the evening, once they're off, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or whatever, 7 p.m. in your time zone is like a killer. It's a killer like spot, like prime spot. And so like I'll do mine. I'll test some out at 7 p.m. I used to do webinars on a Sunday. I don't really do them on Sundays anymore, But Sundays are really good days or great days because entrepreneurs are really getting back in the swing of things on Sunday evenings. Tuesdays are really good. Mondays are good too. If I do a Friday webinar, that means that I'm in the middle of a launch and I usually do it at 2 p.m. on a Friday. After that, your girl is checked all the way out. Okay. Very rarely are you going to see me doing a webinar on a Saturday, but that does not mean that it's not a good day to actually do a webinar. So that is how I handle like the best time of the day. It's all based on your ideal client and their availability, not yours, their availability. So listen, I hope this information has helped you today. Super excited to be here, to be able to share this message with you. I do have a free gift. So if you've never done a webinar in your business, I dare you to go to webinarchecklist.com, thewebinarchecklist.com. And I'm going to share with you how you can formulate your next webinar so that you too can generate over 200 plus leads in the next 30 days and have your first multiple 5-figure launch. My name is Dakisha Williams, your virtual COO. Be passionate, be purposeful, but more importantly, be profitable. I'll see you guys next time.